Have you ever looked at a plant and just thought, well, it's kind of just sitting there? It turns out that beneath that super calm exterior, there's this dramatic, high stakes communication system working at incredible speeds. So today, we're going to dive into how plants have learned to use a really dangerous molecule as their most important messenger.
It's pretty wild.
I mean, really think about it for a second. What if you had to face every single threat that came your way without being able to move an inch? That's the reality for a plant. They're what scientists call sessile, which is just a fancy way of saying they're rooted to the spot. They have to endure absolutely everything the environment decides to throw at them. And that one simple fact has forced them to become absolute masters of internal defense and communication.
And what are we talking about here? It's a constant battle. Way too much sun, freezing cold, not enough water, a lack of food in the soil, and that's not even mentioning being attacked by diseases and hungry insects. As one study I read put it, plants are, quote, continuously exposed to often life-threatening stresses. So how in the world do they cope? Well, they've evolved this incredible internal alarm system.
Okay, so meet the main character in our story today, reactive oxygen species, or ROS for short. You might actually know them by their other name, free radicals. These things are highly unstable, oxygen-packed little molecules. And what's so fascinating is where they come from. They're actually a natural byproduct of the very thing that gives plants life, photosynthesis. So yeah, the act of making energy also creates a potential poison.
And when I say poison, I am not kidding. In large amounts, these ROSs cause massive damage inside a plant. It's a state called oxidative stress, and it can literally tear apart critical parts of a cell. Researchers have even found that too many ROS can trigger what they call genetically programmed cell suicide pathways. It's basically a self-destruct button. So you gotta ask, why would a plant want these dangerous things around at all?
Well, here is the brilliant plot twist. Plants have ingeniously rewired this threat. They've turned a molecule of pure destruction into a tool for super precise communication. They figured out how to harness the power of ROS, turning it from a simple risk into a huge reward. The bottom line is this. This dangerous byproduct has become one of the most sophisticated signaling tools in all of nature. So how do they pull this off? Well, they don't just let these ROS molecules run wild. No way. Instead, they're controlled and sent out by a management team, the plant's hormones. You can think of hormones as the first responders. They're the ones that identify the specific threat, and then they call on ROS to go carry the message. Let's take a look at how that partnership actually works. This diagram here just brilliantly shows us the chain of command. So when a plant senses a threat, like say it's not getting enough water, a stress hormone is released. In this case, it's abscisic acid, or ABA. You can see it up there at the top. This hormone then acts like a key, and it unlocks specific enzymes in the cell membrane. And their job is simple. Produce a controlled, targeted burst of ROS. It's not a flood, it's more like a flare gun.
All right, let's walk through that drought scenario step by step. So step 1, the plant's roots sense the soil is getting dry. Step 2, the plant dispatches that stress hormone, ABA. Step 3, ABA flips the switch, and specific cells produce a quick, sharp burst of ROS. And then step 4, those ROS molecules act like emergency flares, signaling the tiny pores on the leaves, they're called stoma, to slam shut. That action immediately stops the plant from losing its precious water to the air. It's just a perfect, incredibly efficient survival reflex.
But wait, it gets even more amazing. This signal doesn't just stay in one little spot. Nope. That initial burst of ROS kicks off a chain reaction, creating a wave of information that spreads through the entire plant, putting every single part of it on high alert. And this image from the study shows it just perfectly. You see a stimulus hit just one leaf. But that signal, that ROS wave, it travels from cell to cell all the way through the plant. This means a bug chewing on a leaf way down at the bottom can actually trigger a defensive response in the brand new leaves at the very top. The whole organism gets the memo. And this incredible phenomenon, it actually has a name: systemic acquired acclimation, or SAA. It's a state of plant-wide readiness. By sending these ROS signals absolutely everywhere, the plant prepares all of its tissues for a potential threat, even the parts that haven't actually seen the danger yet. It's like a single soldier spotting an enemy, and the entire fortress instantly raises its shields. And really, this is the key takeaway, and it's summed up perfectly by the researchers themselves. They say that plants have mastered the ability to control ROS. This wasn't some kind of accident. It's an evolutionary masterpiece that lets them adapt and survive in a world that's always changing and often dangerous. They basically took a bug in their own system and turned it into their greatest feature.
So the next time you see a plant, just remember it's not some passive piece of scenery. It's a dynamic organism, absolutely buzzing with a complex language of chemical signals. And it kind of leaves you with this final thought. If a system this sophisticated is happening right under our noses, what other incredible secrets is the plant world hiding in plain sight?